Five-time European champions Liverpool defied the odds to make it to the grand finale of the UEFA Champions League, beating Spanish side Barcelona by 4-0. It was a breathtaking performance by the Reds, who were inspired by their glorious past in the competition. Belgian striker Divock Origi started what looked like an unlikely revival by scoring in the 7th minute. GHOne then scored twice in 122 seconds to make it 3-3 on aggregate. Divock Origi then completed the turnaround by scoring his second and Liverpool's fourth on the night, making 4-3 on aggregate to throw the Anfield crowd into a complete state of ecstasy. For GHOne Sports, I am Leila Sharu.
The club's on fire.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Time with Rida. My name is Farida. I did promise you a time of your life on this show, and today I have a star with me here. She's a star from the next TV star. I'm super honored to have her on the show, and I know you'll be so glad when you see her. She's beautiful, she's elegant, she's gorgeous, she's so intelligent. I'm super honored to have Leila here with me. Leila, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited, and I know.
Oh, what an introduction.
And I know she will judge me after the show if I'm good or I'm that bad. And we'll take tips from her on how to be a good presenter, right?
Don't worry, I'm going to take it easy.
Okay, let's start from before you entered the competition. How was life for you like?
Well, I was just like any other ordinary person, trying to get along with life, take it a step at a time, just like any other person hustling to, get there.
Let's begin from when you heard of the audition. How was the feeling like? What were your thoughts when you heard of the auditions, and what moved you to even go to the auditions?
Yeah. Being in the media has been one thing that I've been passionate about, like being a journalist. Growing up, I watched newscasters, read the news, and then I love it. I'm like, oh, this job, I would love to do that right from infancy. So I couldn't see myself doing any other thing apart from being in the media. But as I growing up, priorities change. So I decided to, for some reasons, I went into doing business, into doing a business course. But also, when I saw the audition, because it was something that I was passionate about, and I told myself, should I take up this opportunity? From the beginning, I was a bit skeptical, because one, I haven't been to any journalism school, and I don't know how the show is going to be like. And but I went. I wanted to, give up when I was called to audition. The message came, but I had a couple of friends which I have also expressed my thoughts about it too, and then they pushed me like, no, this is an opportunity, you can grab it, and then think of doing other things as well. If you win, fine, it's just an icing on the cake, but if you don't win too, at least you tried. So yeah, I went for the audition.
Okay, you mentioned that growing up, priorities change, and you still love journalism. From what you are showing now, you still love journalism. Would you say that society had an impact in the priority that changed when you were growing up?
Well, the society per se. Like I was telling you before we started this interview, I just felt like I didn't want to limit myself to journalism. Okay, so I want to do other things that will make me really, will not limit me to only journalism. That's why I went to do business. And also, I did a DBS course in business, so I fell in love with business also. Like, wow, I can do this. Let me go for this.
So when you thought of going for the audition, did you receive any backlash from the people you told that you were going for the audition? Did you receive any, like, you can't do this, stay back? Did you receive any
Not at all. They all have been supportive right from the beginning because everyone that even saw me on the show later on knew that this growing up, this is what I wanted to do. Like my mates, those that I went to secondary school with and junior high school, they've known me from there and they know that most of the time I read in class and then they always had that idea that no, you can read the news, you read like this person. So it wasn't a surprise, like it didn't surprise them when they saw me on the show. And for the people that were around me too, they were very supportive because they knew me right from the onset that no, this is you. And even there, moments that we have conversations, they tell me like, hey, you are good in this, you could go into this. So they actually pushed me into doing it.
Okay. So during the competition, when you went to Royal Century Hotel, you mentioned that you had a rough relationship back then. What was the whole thing about? What was it about?
Really? You want me to talk about this?
Yeah.
When
And you got very emotional
about it.
Yeah, I want us to know. Like,
The reason why I got emotional was not because I moved away from that relationship because it didn't work. But it was because I wish that I knew what I know now. I wouldn't have even involved myself. I realized that it was a wrong decision I took at that time. I realized that no, I wasted my time so much into people that did not even
appreciate.
Yes. So it was the reason I got emotional. And it's in the past now, so
Yeah, but talk to us about being in toxic relationships like this. What advice would you give to younger ones? Now you have grown past that, but I'm sure you've learned your lessons. And what advice would you give to younger ones who are in toxic relationships and still don't want to move on or cannot move on?
Well, what I have to tell them is that when you're in a relationship that is very toxic, it can be very draining. You might think that when I leave this relationship, I wouldn't get, someone, to be with. But tell you what, your peace of mind is everything. It's not even a loss when you leave a relationship that is toxic, because it's good for your mental health. It's good for, everything. You're able to concentrate to do whatever you want to do. But being in a toxic relationship, it brings you so much stress and it drains you. When you are happy, you need to be happy with yourself, and then you can give that happiness out to people, because that is all about like being the best part of yourself and being able to give out that love to someone else. But then when people do not appreciate you, you need to move away from that circle. You can't, attach yourself to people who do not appreciate you. You are important, you are relevant, and you need to put that at the back of your mind. Do not let anyone treat you lesser than you need to be treated. Yeah.
Absolutely. So would you agree with me that within the competition there were some points where you felt like this is not going to work, or you just felt like I've gone down? Like most of the times when you come on stage and then they ask you those questions that you didn't know anything about, you felt like, do you ever feel like, no, I shouldn't have come here in the first place, because you stammer, you do all those things, and then some people might laugh at you, some people will say that, why didn't this girl know this question? In some of the comments, and I must tell you, your answer was as dry as watching paint dry, and that was like hard. Not everybody will be able to stand this kind of comments from people. How were you able to keep that within you and so flourish?
I always say this, and I won't say it again. After every show, I am human, and there are times that some of the comments, get to me. But then within that week, it's gone, and I leave everything on the stage and try as much as possible to get over it, so that I can concentrate on the following week. So that's what I have done all along. I know that there are times that I feel like people will make harsh comments, but I haven't come across, because after the show, I try not to go back to it and watch. I try not to follow comments that are going to be, yes. I try as much as possible to stay away from that. I've seen, bloggers tweet up, blog about the show, and sometimes some of the performances that I put out there. But all in all, I think it's all meant to shape me, and I really appreciate all that. Yeah.
Talking about all that, let's talk about the entire experience. How it was like.
It was a good experience. It was so amazing because at least every day you wake up and you appreciate the fact that there's something for you to fight for. Like you waking up to do your research, go on the show, expecting yourself to deliver. So you are always on the run, always on your feet, you know. So it has been a daily struggle. But yeah, I've been down, I've been strengthened also at the same time.
This competition has exposed you to a lot of people. I'm sure a lot of people watched the show and began to like you. You've grown from this show. You've gotten a lot of fans out of the show, and then I'm sure someone is out there who says that I want to be like Leila. I've seen Leila do this, and I want to be like Leila. What is your advice to this?
Well, I think in everything, what I've learned from this show is that everything boils down to operation. If you want to do something, go for it. Sometimes you might wake up not realizing what you're about to do, but with determination, with putting your effort, just do your bit. Just do what you think that you can do, and you'll be good to go.
Okay, so tell us 5 movies you're watching now.
Movies?
Okay, what do you do for leisure? Like when you're free, what do you do?
Trust me, most of the time, yeah, it's been a while after the show that I listen to music, unless of course it's playing on the telly, but I'm not a television person. Most of the time I like to be scrolling through social media. Yeah, so that's basically it. As for movies now, previously I watched like series like Skinny Girl in Transit is gone, and also recently The Men's Club, and I think they are done with the season 2 or 3, so they are yet to release another season. I think the system, but they are all Nigerian movies, but aside that,
what's this about Ghanaian movies that you don't like?
But these days we even have Ghanaian movies.
That's the question. What do you think Ghanaians are not doing right? What do you think Ghanaian producers or actors are not doing right?
Well, they only need the push. They really need government to come in for them, because a single person directing, producing at the same time, they need the finance to be able to get there. One person cannot do it all alone. So at least the government should come in and then help them.
Well, I like to think
because some of them are producing like good content when it comes to movies, but they do not have the push. So how are they able to be consistent in what they do? I think if they have the push, they will do better.
What of our music?
Music, oh yeah, yes, our music is doing well. At least the likes of Stoneboy, the likes of Sakodia, the likes of Shatawali, music have been able to put us on the map.
This debate has been ongoing because if you mention good musicians in Ghana, it's like you go for the male, and then the 5th person or probably the 6th person you think about is just one female, and that's it. Yeah. Why is it that way? Why do you think it's mostly the males you talk about? Don't you think the females also pushing a lot of hard work, but it's the males you see?
Well, I don't know, but then it's just unfortunate. But then the same attention we give to the males should be the same attention we give to the female, at least push them to get there. But it's just unfortunate that this country, because most of them have made international name, this male artists, that is why I think most people concentrate on them rather than the female. But I don't have any personal issue with the female artists, because some of them are also doing like the likes of Miss B, I feel like you mentioned, and a couple of others. And recently to end of Baroni with her rap, yeah, she's doing so well. Yeah.
seem very principled and disciplined about whatever you do, and I like that. I really like Muslim ladies who are they know what they are up to. They are not being pressured to do something by just anybody or society or anything. Okay, but what keeps you going? What's that one thing that motivates you to do whatever you do?
Well, when I wake up in the morning, I just look up. My first motivator is God. And also I look at people that have excelled and how what they have gone through to be where they are. And so yeah, like wake up in the morning also, you have to go out there and then look for something for yourself. I think these are all the things that keeps me motivated. Wake up in the morning, there's something that you have to struggle for. Till you see people moving around, going to work, trying to do something to put food on the table. These are all things that motivate me aside God being my motivator.
Okay, so what's the future like for later?
I'm looking to becoming a human resource manager of a very reputable organization because I love to work with people. And so I also want to give what I didn't get. So I want to go into HR because I found myself in a working environment where most of the time it's not pleasing. Most of the time I see that some of the managers of most companies, I don't know, some of them do not have maybe a background of how to manage. I think people are different and should be treated differently. The way you treat this person, Farida, is not the same way you have to treat Layla. They all are two different people, but people, forget that. They feel like you all, there's an idea of how they want you to, when you managing people is the most difficult science. And so when you're dealing with people, you treat them differently because you look at their traits and be able to, attach that to maybe your managing them. So I thought I want to go into human resource and then give back to people what I didn't get in a working environment. I've had horrible experiences when it comes to work. You have to work to put food on the table. You have to work to make sure that you survive. Understand? At the end of the day, you end up in the hands of people that they make you go through hell just because you need something from them. You understand? I feel like it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. There's a way you can manage people, even though I need something out of the work. I'm vulnerable down here, but you can still make people happy when they're under you as a manager.
I think sometimes our bad experiences involves like the kind of decisions we make. It informs the kind of decisions we make in the future. Yeah, and I think that's one thing. Okay. So what would you say to your fans, like my mom? Some of the people who have watched the show and really like what you are doing, now that you say you want to do HR, what's going to happen to the journalism side of the show?
Well, when I have the opportunity to be in there, like out there on the media, I won't hesitate. I'll still be there.
You're looking forward to that.
Yes, I'll still be there. And that's for your mom. I love you. And thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate it. I'll visit you one day, one of these days. I'm not coming because of Rita, but you. I'll be your special guest.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for answering our invitation.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad that you are here. And now you can judge.
Mona Mobley.
Thank you so much for watching Time with Rita, and do not forget to always subscribe to her YouTube channel. Invite your friends to subscribe as well, and also don't forget to share, like, and comment. Bye.